Hey, you're listening to Stop the Scroll, a social media marketing podcast, and I'm your host, Heidi Schmidt. I'm a social media strategist and agency owner with over 15 years of marketing experiences helping businesses grow online. We'll be diving into what you need to know so that you can show up confidently online without the overwhelm. Get your notebook ready to jot down some amazing marketing gems, and let's dive into it. Welcome back to another episode of Stop the Scroll. So this week we're talking a little life update, and we're kind of making some changes. Not bad changes, but I wanted to kind of, before I get into kind of the purpose of this episode, which is really like, how do you plan for your end of year marketing? But I just wanted to kind of also share a little life update because things have been busy and you're probably like, Heidi, where the heck have you been? So we are scaling back the podcast just a smidge. We're just going to every other week. I was just falling really behind. Things with the campaign have been busy. The life has been busy. The child has been busy. Like literally, let me tell you, I am so excited that my child's soccer practice is about to end. Actually, by the time this goes live, it will have ended because we kind of get a little bit of time back in our life. But I was feeling bad because I just wasn't, not that I wasn't managing my time, but like also in the past month, like my team has just had a lot of life going on. Like one of my team members just got married. One of my team members unexpectedly lost a family member. And I filled in because, you know, we're a scrappy little team here, but it was a lot on me on top of also like managing the campaign. We put together a big crowd for a recent parade for the campaign, which I don't yet have my husband's kind of my campaign manager, but I don't really have like a events or logistics kind of volunteer. Like we're a scrappy operation on the campaign side too, which means that we're doing a lot of stuff. So I talked to my podcast manager and I was like, you know what? Like I feel like I need to, something had to give in terms of my sanity. And, you know, that was just one of the things. But I am feeling better now. You know, we fixed some processes. We're still refining processes, which is something that businesses do as we evolve and as we grow. We also finished up some big projects that are now I'm just waiting on final approval. And yeah, things have just been really busy. So here's your biweekly episode now. We're moving to biweekly, which is fine because we've got, 80-something episodes. So go back and listen to episodes from the start of our podcast over a year ago. But, and this is where like, I also like had a meltdown to my husband. God, it must have been right before the parade. So like right before Halloween, I literally had a meltdown. Was like, I feel like I can't do it all anymore. Like something has to give. I was sobbing because I was doing a lot more work for clients. I was like, I don't even have time to finish these projects. I did have time to finish the projects, thankfully. It was a strong lesson. And this is something that we have to consider as, whether you're listening and you're a business owner and you're like, there are not enough hours in the day. One, I feel you. But two, bandwidth and capacity. And that is something that we had a chat with in my mastermind earlier this year, like bandwidth and capacity. And is understanding what is your bandwidth for new clients. Like, honestly, I've told multiple people, like, I don't think I'm taking any new retainer clients until January. And I say that because I need someone who is and I'm kind of training my new assistant to do this, to basically kind of be an account manager who's going to kind of like manage the projects and keep all the trains moving, if you will, especially as things get busier. And I am incredibly grateful for my clients. And, this is where like, it's that mindset thing. Like, are you a freelancer or are you an agency? And I'm kind of speaking specifically to any social media managers who might be listening to me. That's where you really need to be clear on, like, do you want to outsource things? If you do, set those systems up in advance. Like, I'm kind of building the plane as we're flying it sometimes, and things are always refining. Like, we always do that in business, right? We discover what systems work for us, what ones don't. But it can be a tough lesson to learn, and burnout is a real thing. And when we are hitting that point, we have to recognize that, like, it's okay as business owners to step back. And I was really hard on myself because basically for the past almost 2 months, like, I didn't really market myself. I was even delayed in publishing my podcast to my website, which it lives there. You can go see all the old podcasts there. I hadn't posted really anything on my own social media. And it was really a tough pill to swallow. I was like, something has to give because I need to market myself. Clients come and clients go, and there needs to be a pipeline. And right now my pipeline's pretty dry, but then that's on me. That's on me. So as we're kind of heading into the holiday season, I was on a call recently where we were talking about, like, what are we doing to promote ourselves, to kind of hit those end of year revenue goals, to kind of reach new audiences, to push a service offering, to get people kind of geared up for 2026. Because no matter what service you have, like whether you're a law firm, whether you're a cleaning service, whether you are a coach, like whatever business you have, there is a way to promote your services as like an end of year offer, if that makes sense. So I kind of thought, a couple weeks ago, what I wanted to do as an end of year offer. So I'm rehosting. Last year I did a free workshop at the end of the year that was kind of like helping people look ahead to the year ahead. How to analyze what worked, what didn't work in your marketing to help set your goals for the year ahead. And so I'm kind of repurposing that. I'm refreshing it, I'm updating it, but it's going to be the same concept. So if you have an offer that you've offered in the past that you can kind of refresh, repurpose, re-update, you don't have to necessarily reinvent the wheel when it comes to your holiday offers. And I see this, there is not such a big difference between, my political campaign and marketing. Like ultimately it all comes down to messaging, right? Like having that brand message. And it's funny, I'm going to tell this story and people who know me probably know what I'm referring to, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't even care. So recently I saw a post from someone that I know, and it was kind of a post that was blatantly attacking the other side. And I thought to myself, like, man, I would not have said that. I would not have done that, y'all. But there's a difference between this other person who is also a political candidate and myself, in that it's okay to have different messages. It's okay to have different strategies. You service provider, maybe you're a therapist, whatever you are going to have a different message and a different strategy from, say, therapist down the road, right? It's okay. My basic message, if you're listening to this and you know me and you know where I'm running for office, like my basic message is like, I want to be a delegate that represents everyone. Like I want to just make our communities better. I want to be pragmatic. I want to listen to all sides. Like I'm not going to be attacking any side, like, because I firmly believe, and maybe someone from the other side is listening to my podcast being like, what can I attack Heidi on? Maybe you are. I don't know. But I firmly believe in my heart, and I say this because some of my best friends in college were Republicans. And this was, back in the early aughts, so totally different lifetime ago. But, and even my husband was a Republican when I met him. Like, we got married at the Capitol Hill Club for flip's sake. Almost dropped an F-bomb there. Decided against it. But I firmly believe, even in this incredibly politically divisive time, and I don't want to get too political here, but it was relevant. I don't know where I was going. It's Friday afternoon. I'm having a bad day. But it was like, oh crap, I haven't recorded anything for my podcast editor. So here we are. But I firmly believe that there is more that unites us than divides us. And maybe that's me being the eternal optimist. I've always been super optimistic. That is the heart of my political values, is optimism that the government's supposed to make our lives better. But sidebar rant, the government made my life flipping terrible today. And, I've noticed in myself, and this is me being a little personal, another total sidebar. I'm just kind of going off here. We're going to talk a little bit of marketing, a little bit of life, and a little bit of politics. But that's life. That's my life right now. The government made my life really, really shitty the day that I am recording this. So my mother was supposed to come down to visit. And I have not seen my mother since February when we were up in Vermont. last for a funeral. And, summer felt really short this year. I don't know. Was that just me? Like, summer felt really, really short. So summer felt short. We just didn't have the time, or dare I say, like, we didn't have the money. Like, at the beginning of summer, like, I lost a couple of clients and it took me a couple months to replace them. So, like, things were a little tight over the summer. We're not making boku bucks here. And fun fact, most entrepreneurs don't make multi six figures as business owners. Not all of us are, rolling in it like Elon Musk. So we are solidly a very middle class entrepreneurship here over at Heidi Schmidt Creative. Like, we are not raking in the dough. But yeah, so my mother was literally at the airport like 15 minutes from boarding, and all of a sudden they canceled her flight. And if you know anything about flying, especially up to little tiny Burlington International Airport up in Burlington, Vermont, you know that there are not many flights that fly in and out of there. There are not many airlines. There are not many options. And lo and behold, there were no other flights for today, the day that I am recording this. So, we spent some time on the phone with my mom trying to see if we can get her rebooked, but she was like, I'm not going to be down there till late Saturday. So let me just pick another weekend once, things are back to normal, which probably honestly won't be until like this spring, because if you know anything about New England, it gets snowy and like travel can be hard because you never know when you're going to get a nor'easter. You never know when you're going to get a big snowstorm. Like, literally, I was looking at the weather for the weekend this weekend ahead of when I'm recording it, not when you're listening to it. And so it's supposed to be rainy here tonight on this Friday night that I'm recording. And it's going to be snowy up in Vermont by like Sunday. So I don't know. We're going to make a trip up north probably at Christmas time. We're going to take a few days and it'll be fine. It'll be lovely. But yeah, it's going to be something. So yeah, government did not make my life well today. I was really looking forward to seeing my mom. I was really looking forward to my son seeing my mom. He loves her. I was looking forward to just getting a manicure with my mom and sitting down with her. And, we were going to go to a craft fair, things that I don't get to do with my family. So I feel like I have to like compose myself now. Now I have to talk about marketing, right? So back to marketing, out of politics, out of how the government made my life shitty today. So back to holiday marketing. So we're now solidly, by the time this goes live, solidly end of November. Black Friday is coming up. No one wants to be like marketing themselves in a big push like the last week of the year, right? So how do you plan now to, and if you're anything like me and you're a super procrastinator, like guilty as charged, how do you say, hey, what can I do now to make sure that I have marketing going out through the end of the year, but that I don't have to work after like whatever date? One, what were the offers that you had last year? Like, was there a workshop that you did? Is there services that you can bundle? We were just talking about this on a call with some women in my incredible mastermind. But like, what do you have that you can repurpose? Whether it's an offer, I've done things, and this is still my offer for the end of the year. If you book a strategy session, you can get 30 days of extra support. That means, whether that means email questions, whether that means Slack support where you can chat with me, have me look or audit anything that you want, that is typically my offer. So that's going to be kind of tied in to a consulting offer, because consulting is really the direction that I want to move in next year. Like, I'm going to be super, super picky about my retainer clients going forward. So think about what promos you can offer. If there's things that you can bundle, what type of offers have you offered in the past that you could reuse or re-promote? Do you want to you can use Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Pink Friday, all of that kind of fun stuff for promotion. So you can use emails, all that kind of fun stuff for that. Are there any days that you want to plug? Like, are you doing a content batching day? I feel like I need to do one of those kind of workshops, like a content batching workshop. And maybe I'll start doing it at the collective, like quarterly. I don't know. If you're listening and you're local to the Annapolis area and you need like someone to help you batch your content, even though I have specifically said that I don't really batch my content, I get into batching phases where like I'll batch like a bunch of captions, or I'll batch a bunch of ideas, or I'll batch a bunch of B-roll. That way, like when I am in like the mood to like create a few posts, like I have them. So these are kind of my holiday marketing tips, and I'm sorry if I feel all over the place today. It's funny because I asked ChatGPT, I was like, hey, can you help me outline an episode that's a little bit of a life update and a little bit of a marketing update? And literally, like, let's see what Margot came up with. So I had also asked her, what do you need to know from me? Because sometimes it's good to clarify with AI. So you're getting a little bit of AI tips here also. So, my life update, which I gave you guys, my promise to you as the audience was kind of like, sometimes you just need to do those personal episodes. Sometimes it's okay to do the personal content. And this is kind of what I was starting to say about the other local post that I saw from another local person in politics that, don't attack the other side. Like, keep it about you, right? Like, you don't need to bring up their things. Like, you don't need to bring up your competitors' shortfallings or shortcomings. Yeah, shortcomings. Keep your marketing about you, right? Like about you, the value they bring to your audience. Let your audience know that you see them. Like, storytelling is big right now, and we've talked about that. We talked a little bit about holiday marketing tips, repurposing. Like, even if you just like, I don't have an offer, but I need to make sure that I stay consistent over the holidays. Like, look at the content that performed. Like the other day, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this workshop. But I went back and I looked at the social posts that I used to promote it last year. Like, literally, I'm repurposing the email. I'm updating it, obviously. Like, repurposing the landing page, updating it, obviously. But, like, you don't have to overthink things, especially when you're overwhelmed with everything else. Like, look at what you've already done. The work's already done, right? You just got to refresh it. So think about that. Looking at what the outline that Margot came up with, package what's already selling. So I think we're going to end it here. Some of my micro tips, like block off those dates. Like next week is literally Black Friday. This Friday is Pink Friday. Like, what can you do to kind of boost your business? If you're a woman-owned business, like Pink Friday, yeah. Is there something that you can discount? Like give 20% off. People are hurting right now, man. Like, it's tough out there. It is tough. And I think, having a little compassion, and as much as whatever you can do, like, what can you discount? I say this as I'm like, crap, and I don't plan on really increasing my rates for next year. Some of my clients might see a little bit of an increase, but not too much, because I'm gesturing broadly. You can't see me, but gesturing broadly about the world. So yeah. So biweekly episodes going forward. Make sure that you've got some posts scheduled, especially that week between Christmas and New Year's. I always find December like my favorite theme, and you'll kind of hear these reflections coming up in episodes ahead. Next time around, we're going to be talking about what we're kind of expecting to see in the social media space for 2026. I always love a trends post. And then we're going to talk about just kind of my end of year recap. Those will be the 2 episodes that come up in December. But if you want to join our workshop about how to plan for 2026, how to set big goals, how to plan your marketing around those goals, the free FREE workshop is Friday, December 5th at 1 o'clock. It's going to be a good one. Last year was great attendance, and it comes with a special offer, which I think this year is going to be my refined consulting offer with a 90-minute strategy session included. So that's going to be the offer. Get in. I might have they might be a little bit different offers, but something will be coming out on the email list for Pink Friday this week, because we always celebrate women-owned businesses. And then there will be something exclusive to the workshop. So if you're looking for clarity on your social media, if you're looking for support with your social media, like, these are your opportunities to work with me. My consulting offer is lower priced than my retainer package, but you get to work with me one-to-one. So that is where we're going with that. And until next time, I feel like this episode has gotten long, and I've ranted and rambled and probably not coherent. So I apologize. Oh, I see my cat in the background, my video. Sorry, you all can't see this big kitty stretch. subscribe to the email list so that you get the update when, sign up for the workshop. It's free, and I give a lot of good information on that one. And if you're interested in working with me next year, schedule a discovery call. We're taking clients in January, and until next time, follow us, connect with us on social media, and we will be in your inbox in 2 weeks. Go forth, create amazing content that stops the scroll. Till next time, bye for now.